and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new Halacha for you, and it's for Thursday, 22nd day of July, 13th day of Av. I want to today and probably tomorrow also teach you a little bit about a special day that's coming up this coming Shabbos. It's called the 15th of Av, or Tu B'Av. It's celebrated as a very festive day. You won't feel it so much in the way our customs work. It happens to be that we're going to have a beautiful Shabbos this Shabbos, and we're in the weeks of Nechama, of being comforted after we've been through Tisha B'Av and everything. But an added thing that we're going to feel on this Shabbos of comfort and all that is it's going to be the 15th of Av, a festive day. Now, there are many fascinating reasons why it's called Tu B'Av, the great festive day. I'm going to tell you one of the very interesting ones. Here it is. You know that the Jewish people sent spies into Israel to see if they were going to be able to conquer the land and whatever other not so kosher reasons they had when they were coming close to Israel. The spies unfortunately came back with a bad report, and the Jewish people cried that night when the spies came back, and God said, uh-oh, you shouldn't have cried. This is eternally going to be a night of crying. And incidentally, that was the 9th of Av. It's one of the tragic things that happened on the 9th of Av. God then decreed that this generation didn't want to go into the promised land, so they won't. And this whole generation will die out over the next 40 years in the desert, and then the next generation will get the land of Israel. A very, very sad decree, and it was decreed on the 9th of Av. Okay, so then every single year on the 9th of Av, this very sad custom had to take place in the desert, which was that all of the 600,000 people who were guilty of having turned their backs on Israel would have to dig graves for themselves. This is in a medrash. Fascinating. They would dig graves for themselves, lie down in the graves, and wait to die. And then the next morning, they would find that many of them were alive and were able to walk out of the graves. And about 15,000, or maybe I should even say exactly 15,000 of them, did not wake up and were buried in those places where they had dug a grave for themselves. And that happened every year throughout the years that the Jews were in the desert, till the whole generation would be wiped out, because they had turned their back on Israel and said they didn't want to go into the promised land. In the final year, the 15,000 that remained dug the graves, lied down in the graves, waited to die, and didn't die. They woke up in the morning and said, that was interesting. And they thought they got the night wrong. Remember, they didn't have exact calendars. So they were forced to get back in their graves on the 10th of Av and wait to die, and it didn't happen. On the 11th and the 12th and the 13th and the 14th, they lied there in their graves waiting to die and didn't die. This is a medrash, this amazing story. And then, finally, on the 15th of Av, they were lying there in their graves staring up at a full moon, because that's what happens on the 15th of a Jewish month, and they realized that's a full moon. It is certainly at least 6 days past the 9th of Av. We're not going to die. And they got up and were very happy and realized that those last 15,000 were not subject to this decree from God for some reason, and they were able to live. And so for them it was a very festive day. And that's one of the reasons that forever we remember the fifth fascinating story, isn't it? That the 15th of Av remains on the Jewish calendar to be known as a very festive Jewish holiday. So there you have it. That's one of the reasons that Tu B'Av is considered very festive. If it weren't Shabbos, I would be telling you not to say Tachnun, but you won't be saying Tachnun on Shabbos anyway. I'm pretty sure we won't be saying Tzidkas Chatzedek for this reason and other reasons. So consider it a festive day. It's Shabbos. It's a Shabbos of comfort and all those wonderful things. And that's one of the reasons that Tu B'Av is considered a great celebration on the Jewish calendar. Thanks for logging on. Log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.